now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G.
All right. Welcome back to the show. You are listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well with everyone. It is Monday, 5th day of June. 5th day of June. We're in the middle of the year. We're in the middle of the year already, and seems like we just celebrated Christmas and New Year's, but we are in the month of June, the middle of the year here already. But hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. The weather held up pretty much for us in the panhandle of Florida, where we're broadcasting from. So I hope you got out and did some things outside and enjoyed yourself. If you didn't, you should have. But I want to thank you for joining me tonight once again on this edition of The Truth with G. We are here every Monday, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time is when we are on. And I want to especially thank my listening audience for tuning in with me. I have some ride or dies that's with me every single night. And I have I keep finding out that I have a lot more listeners than I think I do. I have people that I wouldn't think that listening to the show, but they're listening to the show. And when I run into people, they tell me they listen, and they generally they come up, they talk about a particular show, you know, that more pertain to their life or touch them the most. They'll talk about a specific show. So, you know, I appreciate that. I'm glad that people are listening, and hopefully they are taking heed to some of the things that I say and do and point out and educate you on, because a lot of people are not abreast, if you will, on what's going on in just everyday life. So, you know, I really do appreciate you listening. Let's see here. We have, looks like Ms. Rivers has joined us online here on Facebook. Good evening, Ms. Rivers. Good to see you back on once again. That's one of my ride or dies. Really appreciate her for tuning in and listening. So what I need to do, I need to take about 8 seconds. I need to take about 8 seconds, and I need to just take care of something really quick, technical wise. So if you guys can give me at least 8 seconds, and I will be right back. I'm going to put you on a pause and let you listen to the sound of the ducks in that 7 seconds. I just took a second off, so I need 7 seconds. Mr. Adams is joining us on Facebook. How you doing, Mr. Adams? Stick around, Mr. Adams, because I want to hear your opinions on a couple of things here, if you will. To not taking calls tonight, but you can drop your comments into the comment section. But Mr. Adams, I do want to get your take on a couple things, so hang around. So give me 7 seconds, and I will be right back. Just listen to the ducks while I'm gone. All right, we have 7.5 seconds. I missed it by half a second, but we're back. Appreciate your patience there. We're back. For those who are just joining us, just had to pause for a second, take care of technical issue there, and we are done with that. So everything should be rolling right along here. So let's go ahead and jump on into the show. Let's go ahead and take care of the particulars, if you will, because you guys know I'll say something to piss a whole lot of people off, and they, get irritated and want to sue people. But that happens. But it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. And if you can't handle me telling your truth, then you need to change up what you're doing. And I'm gonna continue to do what I do. But we are WPMM. We are internet radio station here. You can download the app from the App Store or the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. We play the best in R&B, jazz, neo soul, talk, independent hip hop, and old school music. You can listen on WPMNradio.com. Also with this show, same thing, WPMNradio.com. We're on Facebook Live. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. And again, you can download the app. It is a free app. It is a free app. So also, the views and opinions expressed by individual race are of their own and not of WPMM Radio. WPMM Radio does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Now that we have that out the way. So on today's show, it's just Coin Monday Madness. It's if you're on Facebook, and that's what it's coined as, Monday Madness. And basically what we're just going to do, we're going to go through and we're going to just look at some of the topics that's going on in today's society and today's news. And but at the same time, I do want to hear from you. Any topic that you want to address or to tackle or to ask questions or just to, put your comment or your thoughts out there as well, feel free to do that. Again, drop your comments into the comment section on Facebook, if you will. Also, if you're on Facebook, just let me know. Hit a heart, hit a thumbs up, hit something out there. Let me know that you're listening to the show. It would be greatly appreciated. And I can, I'm not going to call your name out unless you want me to. But because I know I got a lot of closet listeners, and I respect that. I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna, not gonna call you out for not wanting to be out in the open, because I understand the situation. I'm just one of those people that I say what I say. I really don't care what people think or who thinks it, because I speak the truth. And that's what I wanted to open the show with. Just leading up to why do I do this? And I've told this story before. It's been going on, 2 or 3 years ago that I told this story. I told this story when I first started the show as to why did I choose to do this. And this show itself has been going on for we're coming up on 3 years. I gotta get my exact anniversary date. It's in, and that's a shame. I don't know the exact date, but I got to get the exact anniversary date, and I'll get that here soon. But I know we're coming up on 3 years, and here's the reason why I do this, because I tend to engage in conversation with people, like-minded people, if you will, that have views and opinions and also facts, if you will. And I like engaging in those type conversations. However, every now and then I come across someone and I have try to engage in those type of conversations, and that conversation turn into a dud, if you will. And what do you mean by that, Drew? And let me tell you what I mean by that. Oftentimes, I would run into conversations, and the content in which I would want the conversation to, in the direction I want it to go, don't go that way, because the person I may be talking to is not up on whatever this situation, whatever the topic of the conversation, particularly in government issues, any type of government issues, any type of political issues, any type of election issues, things of that nature. I often found myself talking to myself, even though I was talking to other individuals, because they were not abreast of what was going on. And it actually got kind of frustrating. I would get frustrated because because I could not engage in the type of conversations that I wanted to engage in with these people. And I didn't always want to be the one who sound like, you know, he think he's better than us, or he's using all these school words and this, that, and the other to describe things and things of that nature. So I got a little frustrated. So instead of let that turn it into a negative, if you will, I tried to turn it into a positive, where, this was when the age of Facebook was coming around. Facebook was real popular. I think we was probably 4 or 5 years into Facebook. For a long time, I didn't have Facebook. And I started getting on Facebook, and I started doing live videos on Facebook. And in those live videos, I would just simply talk about the things that are going on in the community, and just to educate people as to what is going on in the city of Pensacola, what's going on in the state of Florida, what's going on in our nation and our federal government, things of that nature. And through my videos that I would do, my live videos, I would get responses. And in those responses, people would thank me for putting out that information. They would thank me for educating them on things that they did not know about. So, with that being said, I felt it was my calling to just continue to do that, not knowing that it was going to lead to anything other than me just posting live videos on Facebook. But, there's always a higher power that directs your path, if you will. And I'm not really one to try to dictate my own path, even though I make strides to get to certain places. But I know that I'm not the controller of that. All I have to do is my part and let everything else fall in place, if you will. So it eventually led to me inquiring, and I was just simply inquiring about being on a show on WPMM Internet Radio. I had came across the radio station, if you will, and I started listening to certain shows, certain things. And I reached out to WPMM, and I just only wanted to inquire about being a guest on a show. Stylish Behavior was the name of the show, if you will, Queen Sarah. And I reached out to them to ask to come on the show and be on the radio to give out the information that I was already given to the public through Facebook. And it evolved from that to where, I told them to go to my Facebook page and look at the type of content that I talk about and the things that I talk about, and go to my Facebook page and look at this, that, and other. And got a call, and I'm thinking that they were calling me to invite me on to be a panelist on the show or what have you. But the call was to be a host of my own show. So I gracefully and respectively agreed to do that, and that's how we got started. And it all started because I was irritated with having conversations with so many people that were not up on just current issues, just issues, but particularly political issues that affects you each and every day. And I think that's where the most attention should be paid to those issues that affect you every single day, even though you don't think they do. Even though you don't think that your vote matters, it does, because the people that are voted into these offices are the people that dictate, the people that propose, the people that vote on, the people that pass legislation that affect you each and every day, the laws that they impose, or the laws that they lobby for, the laws that they introduce on this Florida House, the laws that they pass through the House and go through the Senate, whether it's the state level or the federal level, those laws impact you every single day. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that. A lot of people, unfortunately, doesn't care about how those laws affect them. And it's a very, very serious issue. It's something that, we need to pay attention to. We can't be blind. I apologize, you guys. I thought I had ducks in the ear. But anyway, you can't be blind to what's going on in your community, in your state, and your federal government. You have to be abreast of it. And I'm not saying you should sit and try to be an expert or be a politician or whatever, but you should know, from your local school board, your local county commissioners, your city council people, your board of elections, things of that nature. You just have to pay attention to that stuff. And I just deemed it, and it felt to be my calling, and to just simply pass along information, pertinent and truthful information, accurate information, so that you can have a decent opportunity to make decisions that is going to be better for, or the best for your particular situation based on factual information. Hence the name of the show, The Truth with G, because I try to deal in facts and facts alone. Oftentimes I may give an opinion on what I think about something, but I will tell you it's my opinion. But most of everything that I give you is going to be factual. It's going to be vetted, if you will. It's going to be verified. It's going to come from a credible source. And I don't believe you should get anything different. That's why I don't, even though I may listen to news stories and this, that, and the other, but I make sure the source of that news is a credible source, whether it's television, print, or radio, if you will. And I usually verify this information before I give it to you, if you will. So that's why I do what I do. That's my little take on why I do what I do. But once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. It is Monday. We are on WPMM Internet Radio. If you're on Facebook, again, hit a heart button, hit a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. I'm taking your comments on Facebook. You can drop your comments in the comment section. I will read your comment. And also, I can see tonight. I can see what I'm reading, and the reason I can see what I'm reading is, I woke up this morning and I wasn't feeling the greatest, if you will. I was having some issues when I woke up this morning, so I did decide not to work this morning, because I would have had some real serious issues trying to work, trying to concentrate, trying to see, and work through, some, feeling a little ill, if you will. We'll just leave it at that. So I didn't look at a computer screen all day, so I can see what I'm reading. So this would be the best day to drop your comments in there. That way I ain't struggling to see it, and you won't think I'm illiterate. So let's talk about local. Let's talk about our local situation, because we have we still have a rash of local violence that's going on that we need to discuss. Also, with that local violence that we're going to talk about today, on the 25th, June 25th, is 2 weeks from yesterday, I believe it is. 25th of June, 6:00 p.m. It's on a Sunday evening. It's on a Sunday evening. There will be a special edition of The Truth with G on that day. 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are doing a forum, if you will. We're doing a virtual forum, and the topic will be gun violence. It's a gun violence forum. And what it is this is being co-produced, if you will, if I can use that term. We're being co-produced by Mr. Larry Simmons. He is living in Georgia at this particular time. He is I think he's a native of Pensacola. He lived in Pensacola for quite some time, but he is currently living in Georgia. But he reached out to me in regards to doing a forum on gun violence based on the activities that we have had in our community these past few months, if you will. And we're going to do that. There's going to be a panelist. There's going to be a panel of different individuals from different walks of life, if you will, that will be on that panel. I don't have all the details just yet. I do know it's going to be on the 25th of June at 6 o'clock. As far as the number of panelists that we will have, that's still up for grabs, to be honest with you. But however, if you are one of those people that may want to participate, and I can't guarantee you that you'll be one of the people, but I do want you to reach out to me and let me know that you are interested in participating in that forum. However, to participate in that forum, you have to have an open mind. You have to have a concern for the issues in regards to our youth and this gun violence. I'm not saying that you have to be an expert. I'm not saying that you have to be well versed in certain terminology, if you will, but I do ask that you have a intelligent thought, an intelligent opinion, and also viable and practical ideas for solutions to this problem. Because the whole thing is to come up with solutions to stop this senseless violence that we're having in our community. So that's the whole part of the forum. So I need like-minded people. Again, this is being co-produced by Mr. Larry Simmons out of Georgia. So I need like-minded people to where we can get together and have a forum. The number of people on that panel, again, I don't know yet. I can guarantee you, other than myself and Mr. Simmons, there'll be at least 4 to 5 more people on this particular forum. It's going to be virtual. It will be virtual. So if you are interested, you need to make sure that you make yourself available June 25th, 6 o'clock p.m., at least for an hour, 6 to 7 p.m. We may, based on the number of people we have, we may need to go a little longer. So we may target 6 to about 7:30, depending on the number of participants that we have in this forum. So, but again, you got to be serious about it. You got to be serious about finding solutions and coming up with a cure for this senseless violence. And I use the word cure, and I know it's not a disease or anything, but it may as well be. It's a pandemic in my eyes. So that's on June 25th. So reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Facebook. Hit me on instant message on Facebook, or you can email me at thetruthwithg@gmail.com. That's thetruthwithg@gmail.com. You can email me if you are interested in participating. And once myself and Mr. Simmons get together, and we finalize things at that point in time, if you have submitted your name for to potentially participate, we will. If you're one of the panelists, we'll reach out to you in enough time to where you make sure you have plenty of time to prepare yourself. So that's the 25th of June. We're doing a gun forum. Just stay tuned for more information on that. The violence just continues, and it just happened a couple of days ago in Pensacola, and it's nonstop. It's just nonstop. Well, we had a mass shooting. You know, the week before we had Carver Park in Cantonment, where we had 3 individuals that were hit by gunfire. Thank God nobody was killed in that incident at the May Day celebration out there in Cantonment. Fast forward almost a week later, then we have another shooting, another deadly shooting in Escambia County. And this took place on Friday. No, I'm sorry. It took place on Saturday. 1 dead, 4 shot during a party. And what was reported, Escambia County Sheriff's Office, they were investigating the shooting that killed 1 person and injured 4 others Saturday night. According to the Escambia County Sheriff Department, deputies went to the house party on Crescent Drive around 9:30. Party had about 50 to 100 people there. Investigate someone went in with a gun and shot a man several times. The 4 others were hit. They sustained non-life-threatening injuries and expected to be okay. The Sheriff's Office is working to identify the suspects, and no arrests have been made at this time. This press release came out 2 days ago, and I have not seen an update. So, but again, that's the Carver Park, it wasn't technically classified as a mass shooting, even though 3 people were hit. The technical definition for a mass shooting is where there are 4 more people that were shot. That's what they considered a mass shooting. This particular incident on Crescent Avenue, this past Saturday, there were 4 people injured, 1 person killed. So 5 people were shot in that case. So that does classify as a mass shooting. In the United States of America, we are far beyond 200 mass shootings for the year, and we're 6 months into the year. Well, we're 5 months. We're beginning the 6 months of the year, 6th month of the year, and we're already over 200 mass shootings this year in 5 months' time, a little over 5 months' time. Mr. John Adams say every day it seems like it's that easy to get confused. I get it. I'm assuming you're talking about the number of shootings and the chronological order that they come in. And again, the suspect in that particular shooting, one dead, 4 shot. No suspect in that shooting. My understanding, I have not seen an update on the Carver Park shooting. But I have not seen a report or got any information in regards to an arrest in that particular case. Same with here at the Crescent Avenue shooting. There's not a suspect in custody. And here's the thing. Here's what really pisses me off about this whole situation. We have 2 shootings in 2 weeks. 2 mass shootings, and I'm gonna call the first one a mass shooting. 3 people got killed. In my eyes, it's a mass shooting. Carver Park, where there was upwards of 2,000 people in that park. This house party where there was 50 to 100 people. And what pisses me off is with that many people at these events, and nobody's saying who shot the gun. That's troubling. That's very concerning to me. It's disheartening to know that people are out there and they know who perpetrated these types of criminal violent acts. They know who they are. They've seen them with their own eyes. They witnessed it. They were there at the time. They know even if they didn't know the person's name, they know what the shooter had on. They know what he was wearing. They know what kind of gun he had in his hand. They know all this information, but nobody wants to talk. I don't get that. I don't understand that. And the reason I don't understand that is because it's not just the people that were hit in those incidents that we need to be concerned with. We need to be concerned on the whole gamut within the community, if you will. Because shootings such as this, shootings such as Carver Park and Crescent Avenue, if you have someone who is bold enough to open fire in a outside event that is full of, that has upwards of 2,000 people, that bold enough to open fire in that environment, or a house party that has 50 to 100 people there, and to go in and shoot, open fire in a house party where there are multiple witnesses. If that person has the gall, if that person have the audacity, if that person has the I don't care attitude to go into those type of situations and create that kind of chaos and havoc, that person is capable of doing anything to anybody at any point in time. And once they have done something like that and they know the heat is on them, and they wondering if anybody done told who they were or whatever, they're on the run, they are even that much more dangerous. Because they are at that point in time, they know that they feel that they're wanted, they feel that the police are looking for them, they feel that all eyes are on them. So they will be more than likely willing to do anything and everything to stay free. Or they may have the mentality that I'm already going to prison if I get caught, so I might as well do what I got to do. Anybody get in my way, might as well go ahead and take them out. So it's not just those people that you're trying to seek justice for that are victims of those violent crimes. It's the ones that are lying in wait, if you will, the ones that can be future victims of violent crimes by these individuals. And I always say, the ones that seen this, the one that witnessed this, the people that know who shot who, when they shot them, those are the same people that if it comes knocking on their door, if it comes and it happens to someone in their family, they'll be the first ones to be on Channel 3 News pleading for whoever that seen something happen to say something. And you are the one that wouldn't say nothing when you witnessed what you witnessed. Mr. Adams put a comment and he said, those that know don't tell, those that tell don't know. I see your point there. Because the one that talk may not even have the information, pertinent enough information to pass along to law enforcement to do anything as far as an investigation or give any hints or leeway or whatever for the investigation. But we have to, and this topic is getting old because I talk about this topic more than any other topic on this show for the past 3 years. Gun violence has been the number one topic of this show, and I hate that I have to continue to have shows where it talks about gun violence. Our legislatures aren't doing anything to make the situation any better. We can't get our government to even pass simple, comprehensive gun laws, just to make it a little bit more difficult for people to get their hands on firearms. Just more in-depth background checks, the age limit, if you will, just simple things that, again, it's not going to wipe out gun violence. And nobody ever claimed that legislation is going to cure gun violence. It wasn't intended to stop gun violence. It's intended to limit the number of guns that are in the hands of people that don't need these weapons. But we have the Republican Party, who is their interpretation of that Second Amendment is a little convoluted. It's a little just distorted. Again, because this Second Amendment was written back when. You know, it was written back when there were no military style weapons on the streets. You know, the times have changed, but we're still living under that same Second Amendment. And the people on the right, they are so tied up in the NRA, and their money, their fundraising money comes from the NRA and gun sales and things of that nature. And they're so tied up in that, and they think that if comprehensive gun laws are passed, that it's going to take away their guns. That's the first thing that they holler. They want to take away our guns. We don't want to take the legislation is not to take away anybody's guns. The legislation is there to make it a harder process for people who don't need guns to get guns. It should make it harder for people who are under psychiatric evaluations and have undergone psychiatric evaluations and have been deemed a certain way, whether it's schizophrenic, manic depressive, what have you, for those people not to have readily access to obtaining a weapon legally. Again, it's not going to stop gun violence. It's not going to stop people from being idiots, but it will have an effect. Again, we're 200 plus mass shootings into this year of 2023 already. So if we had just basic comprehensive gun laws instead of 200 plus mass shootings, we probably could have had 100 mass shootings. And that don't sound any better, but shit is better than 200. It's better than 150. It's better, you know, anything. If it prevents one act of violence from an individual who's not supposed to have a gun, then the laws would serve their purpose. Mr. Adams asked a question. Do you think it's more violence now, or we just have more ways to know about it? I think both. I think we do have more violence now because, you know, as a native of Pensacola, you know, born and raised in Pensacola in Escambia County, I'm old enough to be around when Pensacola had one LaJelle Annex. It was a building, it was a straight line building. It had 2 floors. The sheriff office and all that stuff was on the bottom floor, and also on the bottom floor you had cells for females. On the top floor you had cells for males, and it wasn't a big facility. It wasn't a big, huge facility, but it was enough to house the people that did commit crimes and were caught. It was enough to house that. And I seen the evolution where Pensacola became more and more violent, if you will. The crimes increased significantly. Back when I grew up, I can count on almost one hand the number of shootings that we would have had in a year's time, you know, growing up as an adolescent. Now we have those shootings in a week. You know, in you know, a week, 2 week time, we'll have that number of shooting that back when we only had for the year. Right. And Mr. John said, I remember that, said then in the 80s they built the castle, and that's when that's when things kind of started spiraling out of control, if you will. That was the era of Reagan, when Reagan was president, and Mr. John, help me out. The crime bill. That was around the time that the crime bill was that particular legislation led to the prosecution of a lot of people in regards to this crime bill. Not saying that, people would, obviously got to be smart enough not to commit crimes, but right, early 90s, 1992 crime bill. Thank you, Mr. John. And once the castle was built, and for those who may not live in Pensacola, if you don't know what the castle is, the castle was the new jail house facility that was built in the 80s in Escambia County. It was simply a gray concrete building. It probably had about 6 floors to it. But it's still there. It's still there now. It's not occupied, but it's still there. And as John put in the comments, they call it Castle Grayskull. A big gray building with small windows where the cells were. And in the early 90s is when that building started. They had to build that building because the crime had got to the point where it had outgrew the annex that they had. So they built that one, and they operated the annex for a little while after that. Then they finally closed the annex down. I take that back. The annex wasn't closed down. The annex they did close it down, and they demolished it, and then the castle stood alone for a long time. Then they ran out of room in the castle. Again, evolution of Pensacola and crime here. They ran out of room in the castle, so the old University Hospital. If you're a native of Pensacola, or if you're old enough and a native of Pensacola, you remember University Hospital that was on Leonard Street. I think it was Leonard. That building, University Hospital, happened to be where I was born. I was born in University Hospital. Actually, that University Hospital is the same hospital that I had my first job in as a teenager. My first job was in that hospital as well. So, but once the castle started having issues with overcrowding and whatnot, because of, again, the 1992 crime bill that was signed, that, overpopulated the Castle Grayskull, if you will. Then they turned the old University Hospital into a jail. And that building sat there until there was an explosion. There were some people hurt. I don't think there was any fatalities, but there was an explosion in that building. It was an old building. Whatever they tried to do to renovate it apparently didn't work. Something happened, and it created an explosion at that building. So obviously they had to evacuate that building, move all the inmates out of that building into the castle, and they didn't have enough room, so they sent them out to Okaloosa County, Santa Rosa County, the jails and things of that nature. But they, even with that type of situation, they still felt that, they could have made a decision to say, okay, we got a lot of people in this jail that are here on minor crimes, petty theft, things of that nature, writing a bad check, but they decided to hold on to those people and not try to limit the population. So now we have another jail that's been built. And it's supposedly been built because of the conditions at Castle Grayskull had got to the point to where it couldn't be saved, if you will. So they built a new jail. And now hearing that the new jail is a piece of garbage, it was built too fast. The Too many corners were cut, and it's brand new building that's falling apart, from my understanding. So, but anyway, the evolution. So I think it's we are seeing more violence. I can tell you that. I remember, and also the inception of social media, deception of CNN, deception of MSNBC, the inception of cable news television in itself is bringing more light to these type of situations. Facebook is bringing light to situations. Our local news is covering more of these type of situations. So I don't. Crime has increased, but yes, social media and news are reporting more. There's more news. There's more information out there, and it's out of hand. As Steve Adams said, a bill took assault guns off the street because cops only had 6 shooters and gangs had the nice weapons. 2004, Bush renewed the crime bill but left out the assault rifles. And it's a funny thing about the assault rifles is that in that crime bill, that crime bill, like Mr. John said, only came about because the criminals, if you will, had better firepower than the law enforcement. And those criminals or those people that they were targeting in this crime bill were black people. So now you got a situation where when this crime bill was written, it was written and passed because black people had guns. So now that the white people have the guns and the NRA is funding the white people having the guns, you can't take away our guns. We the Second Amendment say you can't take away our gun. We had that damn Second Amendment when they passed this crime bill, but it was black people. So that's just the double standard and the hypocrisy that we have in our government when it comes to the privilege versus the minority, if you will. As John said, but we wanted that bill. And I understand what you're saying by that, but in the eyes of the legislators, in the eyes of the NRA, it was looked upon as, damn it, we got black people got to get guns. We got these Black Panthers over here that are carrying these weapons, and we got to find a way to get the weapons out of the hands of the Black Panthers because our police department can't deal with these Black Panthers and they got these weapons, or they can't deal with these black people because they have these weapons. So it's trust me, every bill that's passed, I ain't gonna say every bill, but the majority of bills that's passed through your state legislators and your federal government, said the CBC backed the bill. That's another comment by Mr. Adams. But I guarantee you, if you look at a lot of legislation that is passed, you will see, you pay attention to it, you will see that the legislation that is being introduced and passed, particularly nowadays, has a racial bias to it, has a racial connotation to it. It's all centered around keeping the minorities oppressed and making the rich richer. That's basically what it is. That's why we have to pay attention to who we have in office. That's why we have to vote. That's why we have to educate ourselves on who we are voting for and why we are voting for these people. What is their platform? What is their agenda? What are they running on? What will they do once they get in office according to what their campaign slogans are and what the campaign promises? What are they going to do? Just like right now, we have a situation where the Republican Party is a bunch of idiots that's trying to put a bunch of idiots in office. And you look at someone like our own famous asshole of a governor, Ron DeSantis. You look at his situation, and he has told you what his platform is. A lot of you don't know what his platform is because you know, unfortunately, a lot of people don't pay attention to what's going on. But his platform is to destroy leftism and to destroy wokeism. And when he say leftism, he means the Democratic Party. When he say wokeism, he's saying black people. That came out of his mouth as to what his platform for running for president of the United States. He's looking to get rid of leftism, which is the Democratic Party, and he's looking to get rid of wokeism, which is black people. Yeah, he told you a few months back that Florida is where woke goes to die. In other words, where black people go to die. The NAACP has recognized that in regards to his rhetoric. It has recognized that in regards to the legislation that is being introduced and passed in the state of Florida. They have recognized the implications of these laws that are being passed when it comes to black and brown individuals. And it concerned the NAACP so much to the point that where they issued a travel advisory to those who wish to travel to the state of Florida, those who wish to move from a different state to the state of Florida in regards to people of color. They issued this advisory to make aware of the legislation that is being passed that is racially biased, that is set up to oppress, that is set up to lead to our demise, if you will. And all this is being orchestrated and formulated by Ron DeSantis, the current governor of the state of Florida. And for those who are not staying up with that or keeping up with that, even with him being the governor right now, he should not be the governor on this day, on June 5th, 2023. He should not be the governor of Florida. He was supposed to give up his post once he entered the race for president of the United States. But because the Republicans control the state government. All right, Mr. John, appreciate you listening, buddy. Appreciate you listening. Because the Republicans control the Florida's House and the Florida Senate, they have made it to where and changed the law and changed the rules to where he will be allowed to maintain his governorship and run for office at the same time, which the rule has been totally opposite of that forever. That's why we have to vote, people. That's why we have to be up on what's going on in our city, in our state, in our federal government. And I try to preach about it, and I try to force the information on people. I can only give the information to people who are willing to listen, people who are willing to understand, and people who are willing to act. I'm only one person. I can only do my part, and I feel that my calling is to point out these issues and get the accurate information to pass along to you in regards to these issues. And that's, I'm doing the best of my ability to do that, because I want you to be informed. I want you to be educated on these issues. If you're on Facebook, I don't know, my hat is blocking part of my logo there, part of my saying, but it's saying inform, educate, and uplift. That's the purpose of this show. That's the reason why I do this show, because I want you to have the knowledge. I want you to have the information. I want you to be able to make decisions based on fact and not fiction. I want you to be able to make a decision based on fact and not a feeling, if you will. And these decisions affect your life every single day. Everything that happens in our government affects your life every single day. We had this big issue Luckily they passed legislation to raise the debt ceiling. Some people don't even know what I'm talking about when I say raise the debt ceiling. But that not having that information could affect a lot of you people, and you don't even know why it's affecting you. You don't know why your job stopped working. You don't know why commerce stopped coming in. You don't know why prices are going up. You don't know why trains are stopping. The trucks aren't moving anymore. You don't know why the housing market has come to a halt because of legislation that's being passed, but that's aimed at our brown brothers and sisters that they're scared to come to work, or the companies that employ them had to release them because of fines and penalties and facing incarceration for putting these people to work. If you don't know what's going on with that, you're not going to understand the implications that goes along with it. And I just want you guys to be educated. I want you to be informed, and I try to uplift you. I try to, if I just reach one, then I feel like my journey is complete. But it's time for me to get up out of here. I'm not sure if the chop up is coming up next after me. I know he came up last Monday. He was right after me, Big V, with the chop up on WPMM Internet Radio. So we're going to get off so he can jump on here. My hour has been spent. I want to thank you for tuning in to the show here today. I will be back on Thursday, same time, 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to continue to talk about the issues. Don't forget about the forum, the gun forum that's coming up on June 25th at 6 o'clock. That's a Sunday evening. Should be heading back home from your weekend and winding down, and it'll be a good time to just sit down and listen to what's going on around you and look at what people have to say about getting solutions to this problem, this gun violence. So June 25th is the date, 6:00 p.m. for the gun forum that will be on special edition of Truth with G on a Sunday evening. So stay tuned for more information on that. But once again, appreciate you listening. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Until then, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.